Hello, I'm glad to be back with you. Had a few complications I had to get through. Anyway, today's story, Genesis chapter 23, tells us how Abraham bought a cave to bury his beloved wife Sarah. Sarah lived till she was 130 years old, and her body was pretty much worn out at that age. And when she died, Abraham grieved very for her. Abraham bought a piece of land where there was a cave where Sarah could be buried in for 400 pieces of silver called shekels. So 400 shekels is how much it cost to buy the piece of land that he wanted. After Abraham buried and grieved for Sarah for a while, he realized that he had a very important job to do before he died. In those days, the parents would choose or help choose who their children would marry. Abraham was a godly man, a godly father, and he wanted a very good wife for his son, Isaac. When Abraham looked around where he lived, he didn't see families who worship God. And he knew that this was the very most important thing for a wife for Isaac. Abraham had to look for Isaac's bride somewhere else. Well, that somewhere else is where he had begun his life back in Mesopotamia. Abraham remembered that there were people still faithful to God in the land where he was born and where he had left. And he called his most loyal servant to him to discuss his plan. Abraham told his servant how he wanted a wife for Isaac from the old country, but Abraham was far too old to make that long trip. So he already trusted his servant with everything he owned, and this was something that that servant could do. The servant wanted Isaac to go with him, but Abraham said no, because he was so afraid that Isaac would never return to him. And the servant also worried that the young woman might not want to come back with him, especially without seeing Isaac. And Abraham told the servant if he could not get the young woman to come back, he would be released from his promise to Abraham to go. But Abraham also told the servant that God would send an angel ahead of him to help. So the servant made the solemn, very solemn promise to Abraham. Abraham told the servant to take 10 camels of goods to give to the young woman's family. And then he left to go to the city of Nahor in Mesopotamia. After his very long trip, he finally got there. He made his camels kneel down beside the well that was outside the city of Nahor. Then the servant prayed to God. He was worried, still worried, but he knew what to do. He prayed to God, and this is what he said. O Lord God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. I'm not going to tell you right now what happened next. That's our next story. We'll find out.